I promise, guys. I really promise. Like, if you hear snoring during the live stream, no one's sleeping back here. This is a wall. This is a wall. It's my dog Tugboat. He has breathing problems. He's a French bulldog. I mean, he just snores and it echoes in the whole room. I just had to put that out there because everyone's like, oh, someone's sleeping. Someone's sleeping. Yeah, it's my dog Tugboat. He just has a breathing problem. You know what? We're just going to have to get over it, move on, and that's what it is. But right now, crypto, speaking of crypto is actually doing pretty well. Bitcoin's up about 5%, Ethereum's up. And so today we're going to talk about a couple things going on with the SEC and also with institutions. Potentially people talking about manipulating the market. We're also going to go over an SEC decision that just went on. We're going to go over a couple of new funds, one which have been delayed, one which is actually been approved just within the last 24 hours, been trading today. We're going to go over government actually around the world testing Ethereum. And this is major because we're going to see more countries start to do this as well. We're also going to go over something with an FTX, the crypto exchange, and a deal that they just made, and we're going to go over some analysis at the end. So if you can, please be sure to like the stream. I enjoy coming live for you guys. YouTube doesn't send out notifications, so if you can, just be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Let's see if we can get this up to 100 likes, so we can get this out to more people. But so right now we're at 2 likes, but we're going to get started anyways. So right now, we're going to start off with crypto market and then institutions. We got a lot of stories to cover with institutions. Right now, the Bitcoin is up 4%. Ethereum's up 4.7%. Binance Coin's up 10%. Cardano's up 3%. Dogecoin up a massive 16%. And while the entire market was down yesterday, the big news that happened was that actually everyone's talking about fear in China. China banning Bitcoin mining. China not allowing people to trade crypto. Well, while all that was going on, we actually saw major institutions go ahead and purchase hundreds of millions, in some cases billions of dollars worth of crypto. So what we saw is that, first of all, Cathie Wood and ARK Invest, major, they have a lot of different ETFs. They bought 1 million shares of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So when we look there, I go to this site called Lucid Tracking. You can see that ARK Invest purchased $29 million worth of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. They also purchased $47 million worth of Coinbase. These are days where both of these were down significantly. So you can see 1 million shares added just over the last 24 hours when the entire market dropped. So this is the first fund. In addition to this, we also saw another major company, MicroStrategy, bought another $500 million worth of Bitcoin, bringing their total up to $3 billion. In addition to this, we saw that Goldman Sachs came out and said, look, we're ramping up our new partnership with Mike Novogratz's Galaxy Digital. We're going to be the first major U.S. bank ever to begin trading crypto. And now it's going to give other banks the cover, the go-ahead to enter the crypto world as well. And many people are saying, you know what? Why are all these banks and ETFs and funds starting to buy crypto and get into the crypto world? At the same time, a lot of them are saying it's going nowhere. For example, we saw Goldman Sachs just within the last 5 days come out and say that Goldman Sachs analysts divided over whether Bitcoin is even an investable asset class. They had a whole entire report that was released. You can check it out on Twitter. I'll put a link down below after the stream. But you can see they said that Bitcoin may not even be considered an investable asset class. Some people at Goldman Sachs want nothing to do with it. Other people say, you know what, maybe it has a future. So it's just interesting to see that, like they said, look, after analyzing various valuation methodologies and applying our multi-factor strategic asset allocation model, we have concluded that cryptocurrencies are not viable investments for our clients' diversified portfolios. So it's just interesting to see that Goldman Sachs says this, and basically the same exact day they come out with a partnership with Mike Novogratz's Galaxy Digital. We had gone over this before, but it's just interesting because at the same time, the entire crypto market, we're seeing FUD and a lot of fear in the market, yet Cathie Wood and ARK Invest bought 1 million shares of Bitcoin Trust. MicroStrategy bought 13,005 Bitcoin, totaling $500 million. Now they own over 100,000 Bitcoin worth $3 billion. So it's just interesting to see how we're seeing major institutions, while in some cases, like ARK Invest, MicroStrategy, always been bullish on Bitcoin. They have not changed their mind at all. Not at all. But the thing is that what we're seeing is, like, for example, Goldman Sachs. They come out one day and say, you know what, Bitcoin isn't an investable asset class. The next day they say, oh, we have a partnership with Galaxy Digital to start trading crypto. So it's just interesting to see that while all this fear is being spread in the market, we're seeing some major corporations buy up a lot of Bitcoin, buy up a lot of Ethereum, and start to enter the crypto world. Another thing going on with this is actually 100 hedge fund managers were interviewed the other day. There was some data collected on what they see for the crypto market over the next couple of years, how they see themselves actually allocating their portfolios into crypto. And what they said is that over the next 5 years, they expect to invest about 7% of their portfolios into crypto, whether that's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other cryptocurrency out there. And this is, again, something that, in my opinion, people have asked in all the streams, is this market manipulation? What is going on here? Or is it just that, some people are afraid of what's going on? Some people at these companies aren't for crypto, but other people are. Or are they just divided? What's going on? But what we do know is that a lot of the times, the same hedge funds that are coming out and saying, look, we want nothing to do with crypto. The same companies like Goldman Sachs that say, oh, we want nothing to do with crypto. The same people who say that, at the same time, they're investing behind the scenes. Like, out of all the top 100 hedge fund chief financial officers globally, they said that they will hold an average of 7.2%. They expect to hold of their crypto, of their portfolios, of their assets under management. They expect that to be in crypto. So it's just very interesting to see. Right now, retail investors are scared of what's going on in China. We have seen the market bounce back significantly, but it's interesting to see how institutions, even if they talk bad about it, they're consistently buying over time. They're consistently buying Bitcoin. They're consistently buying Ethereum. They're consistently buying most cryptos, despite what is going on with fear in the market, and despite if they ever come out and say, look, we don't know if it's an investable asset class. So I thought that was pretty interesting. In addition to this, the next thing going on is with the SEC, because the SEC came out earlier today and they delayed another decision for a Bitcoin ETF. And this is not the first time that they've done this. They've done this multiple times in the past, and this is nothing new. So the SEC officially delayed the decision on the Valkyrie Bitcoin ETF. This is not as big as the VanEck ETF the Bitcoin VanEck ETF that they just delayed the other day, but it is showing that they're continuing to delay these decisions on Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, and they're behind other countries. We're already seeing countries like Canada have approved multiple Bitcoin ETFs, multiple Ethereum ETFs. We've already seen countries in Europe, we've seen multiple Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs as well. So right now, with the SEC delaying the decision for another Bitcoin ETF is surprising in my opinion, because they're getting behind other countries. They said that they're extending the review period for the ETF by 45 days, rescheduling the decision for August 10th, similar to what they did with the VanEck Bitcoin Trust just the other day last week. They delayed that by 45 days. And in my opinion, when we're really going to see the crypto market take off and we're really going to start to see more money come into crypto is going to be when these ETFs are approved, because that's going to be when we start to see institutions get involved. That's going to be when we start to see more hedge funds get involved. That's going to be when we start to see big money players get involved in the crypto world, because right now a lot of them aren't involved. Like, people say, oh, most people have exposure to Bitcoin. It's because the community that everyone's in and the people that they talk to are people who think very similar to them. They all invest in Bitcoin. They all invest in crypto. They like it. But most companies right now, Fortune 500 companies, have no money on their balance sheet in Bitcoin. They don't accept Bitcoin. They want nothing to do with it right now, really, because they don't understand it. So once the SEC does come out and decide to approve its first Bitcoin ETF or first Ethereum ETF, it's going to open the door up for so many companies and institutions to trust Bitcoin, to trust Ethereum, and they're going to want to invest in it because they're going to say, look, the SEC has approved this. We know, it may not be as volatile anymore. If the SEC approves it, well, then we can trust it. A lot of companies are going to be like that, and we're not. And so right now, we only see companies like Tesla, like Square, like MicroStrategy, only companies like that actually invest in Bitcoin and actually have exposure to Bitcoin. So once we see them open the door and officially pass one and approve one Bitcoin ETF, well, I think it's going to open the door up for many more to come, because there's already about a dozen which have been filed for approval and are pending approval right now. They've already been submitted to the SEC for approval, but not one has been approved yet. So it'll be interesting to see which is the first one that is approved when it happens. I'm expecting that it's going to happen probably within the summer, probably within August or maybe September, but they keep delaying the decisions. A lot of them are coming up now in August, and the thing is there's enough retail demand right now from retail investors and institutional investors that at some point it's just a matter of time before they're going to approve this, because there are so many people who are asking for Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs to be passed. So it's really just a matter of time, in my opinion. In addition to this, the CEO of Vanek Associates came out and said that they don't really need to make a decision in August. It's sort of an artificial deadline, as was the one last week. The SEC is just not moving fast on this, but ultimately he said that the approval may only be a matter of time, given the huge demand for Bitcoin and Ethereum in the US and the demand for an ETF. And also, you just got to remember, the US isn't going to want to get behind all the other countries which have already gone ahead and approved Bitcoin, Ethereum ETFs. Canada, like I said, has multiple. We've seen other countries approve multiple Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs as well. And at some point, the US is going to be behind. People are going to start putting their money in other stock exchanges around the world, like institutions, and US companies are going to miss out. So I think they're going to move ahead with that pretty soon. It's just a matter of time. If you guys are just joining us, please be sure to like the stream. Helps me get these videos out to more people. Let's see if we can get this up to 200 likes, and let's keep it going. Next topic on our list is going to be with a new fund. While we are talking about what's going on in the US, they're not approving funds like a Bitcoin ETF or many mutual funds. We are seeing that NASDAQ Dubai just rolled out a trading for 3iQ's Bitcoin fund. This is a company, this is Canada's largest digital asset investment fund. And now, because they can't come to the US, they already have their ETF, Bitcoin Ethereum ETF in Canada. But since the US isn't accepting any of these, they're moving elsewhere. So now that we're seeing that they're expanding their reach, moving to the Middle East, and the market in the Middle East, which is Dubai. We know there is a lot of money in Dubai, a lot of institutions with billions and billions of dollars, especially when we're talking about oil and gas companies. A lot of money there, which could be potentially put into and injected into the crypto world. We could see the crypto market really move upwards and see a large increase in capital because of this. But the new listing marks the entrance of the Middle East's first ever indexed digital asset-based fund. And this is important because, according to the CEO of 3iQ, he said that he believes that whether it happens this year, next year, or at any time, Bitcoin is going to get to a new all-time high, even though we saw the entire market crash the other day with everything going on in China, all of the fear in the market. The thing is that we did drop to $29,000 per coin, but we bounced back. And by the end of the day, we were at 32,000, and now we're closer to 34,000. And he said, ultimately, hopefully we get a good first move over the next couple of days while this fund is in Dubai and first, officially got listed. But either way, it's just a matter of time before we start to see new all-time highs for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and them expanding their reach from Canada now into Dubai, hopefully eventually into the US. It's just a great sign for things to come in the crypto world. And in my opinion, any Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs getting approved, whether it's in the US, whether it's in Canada, whether it's in Dubai, whether it's in the UK, it doesn't matter. All of these things are going to be good for crypto long term. They're really going to be good for crypto because it's going to get institutions invested into the crypto world, and it's just going to help out. It's going to give institutions more confidence. Right now, the problem is like you're not seeing Johnson & Johnson invest in crypto. You're not seeing Procter & Gamble invest in crypto. And once we start to see these companies allocate single digits of their balance sheet into crypto, well, that's going to be when we see the price really start to take off. And in my opinion, it's going to happen at some point this year. It's just we don't know exactly when that they are going to officially approve these ETFs, at least in the US. But one person in particular who came out recently, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but we spoke about Cathie Woods earlier, but Cathie Wood and ARK Invest, she's the CEO of ARK Invest, she came out and said that she thinks Bitcoin's price will go to $500,000 per coin at some point in the future, given that institutions are going to allocate single digits of their balance sheet. So essentially what she's saying is, look, Bitcoin right now, while it was at $30,000 per coin, it was a lot lower. She's predicted, and I did a video on this back in October of 2020, she predicted that Bitcoin's price will go as high as $500,000 per coin. Now, she didn't give us a time period. She didn't say by the end of this year, by the end of next year, but within the next 5 to 10 years, she predicts that Bitcoin will reach $500,000 per coin for a couple of reasons. So the first is going to be with institutions allocating single digits of their balance sheets into crypto. She said once we see institutions start to put 3 to 5% of their balance sheet into crypto, that means Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, Tesla, GM, every single company that has investments, once they start to allocate a small portion of their portfolio into crypto, well, that's going to be when we see the entire market take off. And in my opinion, I think that's going to happen a lot sooner than people think, especially after what we saw the other day. We saw a pretty strong, resistance at $30,000. We thought we broke below it, but there was a lot of buying pressure. As soon as it went into 20,000 range, like the 29,000, 28,800, we saw a lot of buying pressure. And we don't have all the data in yet, but I am sure a lot of these buys came from big money players. The people we know are MicroStrategy, which was $500 million. We know ARK Invest bought about $30 million of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. We know they also bought Coinbase, about $50 million there. We also know that a couple other hedge funds poured about $1.2 billion in total, which we have talked about all together. And me personally, I added to my positions. Yesterday, I bought, in particular, if you're part of Patreon, I bought Cardano, a lot of Cardano. I also bought Ethereum and Bitcoin. Those are the three I added to yesterday in particular. I added $7,000 to Cardano and $5,000 to each of the other coins, maybe Bitcoin and $5,000 to Ethereum. So I added right around $20,000 total, right around there. But I'm not selling anything. I think once we see these ETFs get approved, once we start to see, especially in the US, we start to see more money from institutions and big players get in, well, that's going to be when we see the market take off. And I don't want to miss out on that opportunity. So everyone says, you know what, should you sell? Should you get out of the market? In my opinion, it's you don't know when institutions are really going to start feeling comfortable getting into Bitcoin. Is it going to be as soon as an ETF is approved? Probably, but we don't know when it's going to be approved. So rather than try and time the market, me personally, it's you just consistently invest over time, dollar cost average. Same like I would do with STEM Inc., which is a stock we talk about on the channel. Same when I would do with any other investment. It's just, in my opinion, better than trying to time the market. If you think Bitcoin, you think Ethereum, you think any crypto is going to do well long term, might as well just stay in it, because otherwise you got to worry about capital gains taxes. You got to worry about so many things when it's if you believe in it, just believe in it. Just stay in it long term. That's what I think. That's what I think. But so that's what's going on with the decision, right? The new fund in Dubai. We got a little off track, but that's what's going on with the fund in Dubai that officially started trading today on the Dubai Stock Exchange. It was the ETF from 3iQ. They are one of the largest cryptocurrency investment funds in Canada. They did have their funds approved in Canada recently, a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF back in, I believe, April. But now they have it in Dubai, and I think we will see them roll out in the US at some point once the SEC decides it's time to start accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. If you guys are just joining us, checking out your comments real quick. Ronald, what is up? Nugent, what is up? Jay Sharma, hello. Really appreciate your update, Chad. Thank you. Thanks, Chad. Antonio. Also, you guys, before we get into the next couple of topics, if you are just joining me, you're just joining us right now. If you follow me on public.com, you can see exactly what stocks I'm buying and selling, and I'll follow every single person who follows me on that. I'll follow you guys back. There's a link in the description. It's just like Twitter combined with Robinhood. So if you follow me, I'll follow you back on that. Next topic, though, is going to be with what is going on with... This is the most exciting story of the day. Wait, this is actually the most exciting story. I forgot about this for a second, but this is the most interesting thing that I think has happened for the crypto world in a while, and that happens actually in Israel. In the Bank of Israel, what happened was they stepped up on their central bank digital currency efforts with a reported test and a pilot program on Ethereum. And this is huge. Everyone knows that Ethereum has smart contracts, NFTs, decentralized finance applications, and it has a lot going for it for the future of finance. Everyone who is in the tech world, everyone who is in crypto, really knows that the applications behind Ethereum are going to be so important. Whether it's Ethereum, whether it's Cardano, whatever you're talking about, we know at least the technology behind it is huge. And now the exciting thing is that we see the Bank of Israel officially start to actually test these things. And this is something that I've not heard from any other country do anything similar to this. So it made me really excited. Like, I've been to Israel multiple times. I love Israel. And so the report came out and said that the Bank of Israel, the BOI, completed its pilot in an experimental closed environment. It was a program based on Ethereum's architecture. And essentially, they were testing out the technology behind it to see what they would do potentially with creating their own digital shekel in the future. So that's the shekel is the currency in Israel. And what they said is they successfully tested its ability to program a car ownership certificate transfer using non-fungible digital tokens and completed a transaction wherein an NFT payment was made the condition of the certificate's transfer and vice versa. So essentially, what this is that they were able to use smart contracts and NFTs to transfer the title of a car from one person to another. And they said the benefits of this, obviously we know, the transaction was instantaneous. You don't need... There isn't as many risks, and there's no need for a central intermediary or trustee. When previously, we all know, when transferring ownership of a car, buying a car, not easy at all. And they were able to test this out using smart contracts, NFTs, and they just made a condition, which is a smart contract. They made a condition that the certificate would transfer over to the new owner as soon as the payment was made. So essentially the way it worked is they said, look, you know what? The way the test worked is they had a smart contract that said once the funds are received, the title of the car, the ownership of the car is going to be transferred over the certificate's going to be transferred from one person to the other. And as soon as the funds were received, it automatically transferred the title over exactly how it was supposed to. Very, very exciting, in my opinion. I think this is huge for crypto moving forward. I don't know what you guys think, but that was something that was so exciting to me because it's like, look, everyone talks about Ethereum, but it's like, when are we going to see real world applications? And I know we've seen them, we've started to see them, but at some point it's like, when are we going to start to see real world applications from like major players, like countries, like major corporations? Like, I get it. Right now, Cardano has major partnerships with Ethiopia and the Ethiopia education system. We've seen that they partnered with Ethiopia, and the Ethiopian education minister recently came out and talked about this. He talked about the program that they have. But anytime that I see something that is big going on in the crypto world, something that is like something that is an actual use case, a real world scenario where we see something happening. It's something that's very exciting because it shows the potential, the possibilities of the future for crypto. And for example, Cardano with their partnership with the Ethiopian Education Council, it's exciting. Each student gets a blockchain-based ID. They can track their academic performance. What happened in Israel, the Bank of Israel testing out this, it shows that, look, Ethereum, everything that people talk about with Ethereum is possible, which we know, but it's possible, it's not hard to do, and they tested out their pilot program. So they said ultimately, though, that moving forward, their decision to have this pilot program to test it on the purchase and transfer of a car and the ownership of a car, they said it does not represent that they are actually going to go ahead with it, but they said it served as a basis for discussion to say, look, it works. We wanted to test this out, see if it's something that we could do in the future. And the specific wordings was that this draft does not represent a decision of the Bank of Israel regarding the characteristics of the digital shekel if issued. The draft model forms the basis for discussion and examination of alternatives by working teams dealing with the issue at the Bank of Israel. And following the publication of this document, it will also serve as a basis for discussion in the professional community in Israel about the characteristics required for the digital shekel. So they're not talking about specifically using Ethereum or Bitcoin. What they're talking about in particular is seeing the use cases, seeing the technology behind the shekel, figuring out how they can take that. I mean, the technology behind Ethereum and Bitcoin, how they can take that technology and implement it into their own central bank digital currency, similar to what we see with like the digital yuan. China has their own central bank digital currency, the digital yuan, and like it's a similar thing to that. Israel, just like every country in the world, is going to want to have their own virtual currency. The US, Jerome Powell has talked about this already. They're all going to want to have their own virtual currency. So they're going to use others as a way to figure out use cases for it. This doesn't negate Ethereum or Bitcoin as an investment vehicle, but it shows, but like these countries are all going to want to have their own virtual currency. And in my opinion, I just think it's really cool to see the use cases with Ethereum in action, actually working, and like something with the car. Next story. Before we get into that though, if you guys are just joining us, please be sure to like the stream. Let's see if we can get this up to 200 likes. I appreciate all you guys joining us. Appreciate every single time you tune in. And if you can, please be sure to like and subscribe. We talk about stock market, tech news, crypto, and I post more than 3 videos a day, even though YouTube does not send out any notifications for those videos. You know what? We just got, if we gotta get the information out, we gotta get the information out. Let me check out the comments real quick. A. Garcia, I'm about to sell Doge, guys. Tell me why I shouldn't. If you have all your money in Doge, I would say don't have all your money in any one investment. Paul Cruz, what is up? Great advice. Thank you, Paul Cruz. Solana and Cardano. Solana has bounced back faster than any other crypto over the last 24 hours. Solana bounced back a lot faster than Ethereum, a lot faster than Bitcoin. And I did a video on it earlier. It was in our live stream. We spoke about Solana in particular. And we also spoke about, what was the other coin? We spoke about Solana and also I think Polygon, but correct me if I was wrong. What's up, Tad? Aiton, what is up? What is up? I don't know who Wayne Rooney is, but sounds cool. Keith Bush, what is up from Mississippi? Appreciate you joining us. Waterboy, always here. My man, I appreciate you joining us as well. So if you guys can, just please be sure to like the stream. We're going to keep this rolling. Got a couple more topics to go over. And I do read all your comments. Every person who comments on my video, I read all of it. I respond to all of them. And also when you follow me on public.com, I follow all of you back. I'm not someone who's going to, ignore. It doesn't even matter. When I used to get like 2,000 comments a video, I commented and responded to every single person. So just putting that out there. What is up, London? What is up? Next story is going to be with what is going on with FTX. It's a major crypto exchange, and they just came out the other day. And I don't know if you guys saw, but the first big announcement with them was that they, here we go. The first big announcement with them was that they sponsored the MLB. Now umpires are going to wear the FTX crypto exchange logo on their hats. And this is the first time ever that the umpire uniforms are going to have a patch partner. They've never had this before. And this is exciting for crypto. This is exciting because we're seeing crypto get, major sponsorship deals. Like the biggest thing with FTX, it's a crypto exchange, but the biggest thing with them is that they are now the name of the Miami Heat Arena. Like the Miami Heat Arena, I'm from Florida. We used to always go there all the time. And it used to be the American Airlines Arena. Now it's the FTX Arena. They signed a 19-year, $135 million deal with the Miami Heat. And we don't know the exact financial terms of this partnership with the MLB and FTX. But what we do know is that it's a 5-year deal, and all umpire uniforms are going to have the FTX logo on it, and it's also going to, it's the first time ever that umpire uniforms have some sort of partnership with a brand, are sponsored by a brand where they're going to have the logos on it. It's just interesting. Like FTX, I don't invest on the platform, on the exchange, but they are making major moves that are going to help crypto long term, not just FTX, but it's getting exposure to the entire crypto world in general. Like if you look at these uniforms, these logos are going to stand out because right now the uniforms are all black. They have the MLB logo. That's it. So imagine how many times that in every single MLB game, there's going to have the patch of the FTX. It's going to bring more exposure to crypto, more eyeballs to crypto. And it's definitely just going to help with everything moving forward. What is up, Karen Varner from Georgia? What is up? What is up? Idaho. I appreciate that. Raymond. What is up? They want everyone to buy the crypto dip to get them off AMC. Who knows? Who knows? Lastly, I got a couple more things I do want to talk about with crypto. But first, let me take a look at the comments. So right now, let's take a look. Karen Varner, what is up? Nobert, Sydney, Australia. Love that. Been to Australia, one of my favorite places. I buy $5 of Doge every week in case something happens. I mean, that's great to do, like dollar cost averaging. I think that is something that is smart to do no matter how much money you have with any investment. That's what I do. I told you guys that about Cardano. I bought more yesterday. We spoke about that. But okay, let's get into the last topic. So last topic is going to be what is going on with JP Morgan. Here we go. Recent report came out that said crypto is rat poison. And that is a third of mainstream investment firms. They told that to JP Morgan. We've seen Warren Buffett come out and say this in the past. He has come out and said that Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, they've said that Bitcoin is rat poison. It has nothing. It shouldn't. People just created a new financial vehicle, and now it's worth something. And they said that is just complete garbage. That should not happen at all. So what they said is that, where is it? Okay, right here. Of the firms, okay, Bitcoin was up 5%, around $34,000 on Wednesday. We know this. Of the firms who did not invest and have not invested in crypto yet, 80% of them did not expect to start investing or trading in crypto, according to a recent study done by JP Morgan. And this was by 3,000 investors and 1,500 institutions. However, when people were asked about personal investments, 40% of investors said they were active in crypto. So I found this pretty interesting. Right now, we're seeing institutions continue to tell the media that they are not getting in crypto. This brings us right back to the main point. We're seeing this right back to the main point. But institutions are saying, look, we are not investing in crypto. We want nothing to do with it. And like we've seen this from Goldman Sachs. They came out and said, look, we're like, crypto is not even an investable asset class. It's not consistent. It's not a store of value. We want nothing to do with it. At the same time, they put money into crypto and start trading crypto. And so it's just interesting that we're seeing all these reports continue to come out from JP Morgan, from Goldman Sachs, from major institutions that say they want nothing to do with crypto. And every single time we hear that, we end up hearing that, look, they've already started to invest in Bitcoin. They've already started to invest in Ethereum. And so they can say all they want, but they don't like it. But they're continuing to put more money into it. So in my opinion, that's just something that is really interesting. It's like, are they trying to manipulate the market, trying to spread fear around so that people get out of crypto, that people decide, you know what, I don't want to invest because Goldman Sachs says it's not an investable asset? Are we trying to get out because JP Morgan says it's rat poison? Are we trying to get out because, you know, all these people are saying, all these big institutions don't believe in it? But then at the same time, when reports come out, it says all of them are investing in it. So a lot of people say that that could be them just trying to spread fear in the market, trying to get people afraid of investing in crypto so that they could put money in, and then they'll tell everyone, look, we just invested, and then more people are going to put money into it. Someone's asking about Polygon, but those are like the main stories for the day right now. Okay, well, this is an error right here. What is this? It says the market's down 92%. That is completely wrong. Is it just a glitch with the system? Yeah, okay. We reloaded it. Right, so right now the entire crypto market is up 4.55%. Bitcoin's up 5.6%. Ethereum's up 5%. Dogecoin's really one of the leaders in the top 10, up 18%, and Binance Coin's up 12%. So really, we're seeing all of the altcoins have a much bigger bounce back, much bigger increase than we had seen previously, but that's what always happens in crypto. Nothing different, nothing surprising. Bitcoin, Ethereum are always going to have smaller increases and smaller losses because we know that they're more established. For example, Polygon, like for example, Christopher Neves is asking about Polygon. Right now, Polygon is ranked number 16 in terms of market cap. It has moved up. Yesterday it was ranked number 18. It has a $7.3 billion market cap. I am invested in it. And a couple things with Polygon right now that you got to keep in mind is that right now Polygon has had some big announcements come out recently from Mark Cuban. You guys probably have already heard about this, but with Polygon, what we're seeing is that Mark Cuban recently came out and said that he is investing in Polygon. But the most interesting thing about Polygon, in my opinion, is that we are seeing institutions and large investors start to get into Polygon versus, I'm going to pull it up. Starting to get into Polygon versus Ethereum and are choosing Polygon more often than choosing Ethereum. And this is interesting. So right here, you can see institutional investors come to Polygon amid rising Ethereum layer 2 demand, according to blockchain data. And what we're seeing is that I found this interesting. I talked about Polygon before Mark Cuban invested in it. We said, look, Polygon is a crypto where it's like you're not betting against Ethereum. You're saying, look, I think Ethereum's going to do well. So if Ethereum does well, Polygon does well. It's like they are connected. They're not exactly the same, but you got to think of it. The easiest analogy to see what Polygon does is Ethereum is the main highway. Ethereum, as more people use it, as we see the price goes up, as we see more transactions, well, then Ethereum gets to be the blockchain gets to be like gas fees go up. It gets more congested because there's more transactions and it can't handle that many. You know, once it has ETH 2.0 and that upgrade take place, there will be able to handle more transactions. But then the thing is with Polygon steps in and says, look, you know, Ethereum's the main highway. Polygon is all these side roads where then you can still have a lot of the same benefits of Ethereum and the Ethereum blockchain, but you'll also be able to get slower gas fees and you'll be able to use Polygon. So the interesting thing that's happening here is that we are seeing institutions start to move over to Polygon. This wasn't, you know, this isn't from the last 24 hours. This is from the last week and a half. But what we're seeing is that institutions right now are continuing to get more into Polygon because of these lower gas fees and because you can do more transactions with lower fees. And you know what? When you're starting to talk about tens of millions of dollars and over $1 million, it starts to become a big issue and something that people actually like. So right now what we're seeing is that an increasing number of institutions and large investors are joining Polygon. This has happened after Mark Cuban has spoken about it at the beginning of June and explained how about 65% of stablecoin transaction volume on Polygon came from transactions with above $1 million. 65% of daily stablecoin transaction volume were above $1 million transactions. So you got to think about that. Who is going to have over $1 million to invest in crypto and invest specifically or like transact on Ethereum or Polygon, it's not going to be someone with $1 million. It's going to be someone with at least, let's say 5, 6, probably a lot more than that, institutions, because people who have $1 million are not going to be going all in and, having a transaction of $1 million. Some people will, but let's say on Ethereum's network. But what we're seeing is that now this shows that the big money players are finally starting to get in to some of the smaller altcoins like Polygon. And you can see the percentage underscores the shift of DeFi whales from Ethereum to Polygon. And when you look at the chart, if we scroll down, here's the chart, you can see that this chart shows the percentage of total volume versus transaction size. So this is showing you how much, we'll zoom in on this. This shows you out of the total volume done on Polygon, out of the total volume on Ethereum, how much is coming from transactions, 100K, like $100 to $1,000. How much is coming from 100K to $1 million? And we're seeing that Polygon has a higher percentage of its transactions coming from $1 million plus range than does Ethereum. Not much, just barely, but this is interesting to see because it's like, look, people, I guess, are saying that they're willing to sacrifice some of the security of being on Ethereum for cheaper gas fees and lower gas costs by using Polygon. So it's something interesting to see. I'm very bullish on a Polygon. I like Ethereum because the thing is, even with ETH 2.0 that will be rolled out, even with Ethereum 2.0, which is going to be able to handle more transactions per second, it's going to be more efficient. It's going to be, consume less energy. Even if that's the case, if we're expecting the total number of crypto users to increase in the future, it's still not going to be enough. You're still going to need Polygon there in order to be able to handle all of the transactions in the future. Is Solana a decent investment, Ryan? Yes, I think so. I'm invested in Solana. People keep asking about AMP. The only main thing that I've covered with AMP is that it was recently listed on Coinbase. I haven't done enough of a deep dive into it to give you guys an entire educated opinion on it. I don't invest. Well, I have a little bit of money into it. I have a little bit of money on Coinbase, but I don't want to go over that quite yet because I want to make sure I give you guys a full, educated opinion. I don't like to talk about something if it is not something that I'm confident about. So we are going to stay away from AMP for right now. The main news with AMP is going to be that it was listed on Coinbase. It is used for collateralizing payments and ensuring transactions. If there's an issue with it, what it does is it ensures that the money's backed up. So if, for example, something goes wrong in a transaction where the money doesn't get sent to the right place or something goes wrong, it's going to essentially confirm and collateralize that to back it up with money to make sure it could go to the right place. Agree with Doge Rocket, buy Doge. So did you? Wow. I'm reading the comments real quick, guys. Randall, what is up? Christopher Neves, what is up? Nathan, crypto is already being swallowed by China, collecting all the Bitcoin they get out of miners' hands. Okay. Carlo, hey, Michael, you've been talking for hours. Don't have any water here. Will there be another bearish trend this weekend? Is that what you're asking, Tree? I think Tree is asking, will there be another bearish weekend this weekend? There's no way of knowing, but what we're seeing with the charts right now, if we do look at the chart, Bitcoin has bounced back. It only crossed that $30,000 support for a couple of hours, which is a good sign. But right now we're just back in that $30,000 to $40,000 channel where we've been fluctuating between for the last 4 or 5 weeks right now. 4 or 5 weeks. So I would expect that we would continue in between that, between 30 and 40,000, until we would see either some good news come out from China or until we see some bad news come from China or some good news come from somewhere else. We just need some sort of big catalyst to come out to either push us above or push us below. But what the last 24 hours has showed us is that there is a lot of institutional demand in crypto, especially once we start to hit that $20,000 range. Anything in the 20,000, people are eager to buy more Bitcoin, eager to get into crypto. Like when Ethereum drops below 2,000, when Bitcoin drops below 30,000, what yesterday in the last 24 hours has showed us is that people are willing to buy when we see those prices. When it gets to 1,900 for Ethereum, when Bitcoin gets to 29,000, it's like we're starting to see a really strong support form over there. If you guys are just joining us, please be sure to like the video. Helps me out a lot. Right now we're at 133 likes. I will stay on longer, a lot longer than we were expecting, if we could get this video up to 300 likes. We did this yesterday. The other day, if you guys weren't with us, I had a really important thing I had to go to, like a meeting. And I told you guys if we got to 300 likes, I would cancel it. So I canceled it 30 minutes before it even started. So we'll do it again. If you guys get this up to 300 likes, we will stay on, keep talking, go over a couple more pieces of news with crypto and a couple more things going on. If you guys are able to get this video up to 300 likes, I know it sounds stupid, but it actually helps out a lot. I know it sounds stupid. What is up, Ryan? Hungry wolves waiting to buy the dip, which is good to begin with. Yeah, I agree that we're seeing that major institutions get excited about getting into crypto when we're seeing some of these lower prices. So one thing that just came out, and I haven't looked into this, so we're just going to look at it together. But Visa, PayPal, it just invested in crypto-focused blockchain capital's new $300 million fund. So this is pretty interesting because Visa and Capital have been very pro-crypto. They're all about making transactions as easy as possible for their customers. That's what their whole business is about. If people want to pay with crypto, they want to let people pay with crypto. If people want to pay with the US dollar, they want to pay with a credit card. That's what the goal of PayPal and Visa is, to facilitate transactions. But so Blockchain Capital announced on Tuesday that it raised $300 million in its fifth round of funding, and PayPal and Visa were among these investors. So they said others included some pension funds, major university endowments, family offices, and the big names though were really just PayPal and Visa. So what is exciting about this is that we are seeing that major payment processing companies are realizing that crypto is going to be here whether they like it or not, and they don't want to miss out on the opportunity to get involved. So even if people aren't going to, even if they don't have all the technology behind it, let's say for DeFi and all these applications, they're going to make sure that they're definitely invested in it. It's like they're not going to let themselves get taken over by, let's say, a crypto project that's invested in that's all around transactions, DeFi, because that's what they're trying to do. But so either way, what we're seeing is that Blockchain Capital, they describe themselves as the first venture capital firm focused exclusively on blockchain technology in the crypto ecosystem. The firm has invested in more than 110 companies, protocols, and crypto assets across the ecosystem since it was founded in 2013. They say they've invested in things like Coinbase, Kraken, Anchorage, OpenSea. They've also invested in some DeFi players like UMA, Nexus Mutual, and they said that PayPal's vice president came out and said that PayPal is committed to fostering an ecosystem of companies making digital currencies more accessible, useful, and secure. Investing in Blockchain Capital's new fund allows us to engage with entrepreneurs driving the future of decentralized economy and the new wave of financial services. See, this is exactly what we spoke about. Visa, PayPal, they want to make sure that they are in this realm, in the new realm of DeFi and financial services from crypto projects, because that's what they're all about. They don't want to be taken over, and if companies start to pop up, that's competition to them. Even if you're getting into crypto now, you're still early compared to the rest of the world. Yeah, so Christopher, let's talk about that. So earlier in the video, if you guys are just joining us, I will put timestamps down below for anyone who's joining us, right now. Also, if you are just joining us, please be sure to like the video and subscribe. But the interesting thing that Christopher just said is you're getting in early. And I've seen so many people say, maybe I should sell, maybe I should get out. But me personally, the key number that I like to look at is what I like to look at right now is that only 6%, I'm going to try and find the article in crypto, but only 6% of, okay, this one is a little different, but here, we'll look at this. Here we go. It says only 14% of Americans own crypto right now. The last one I had seen a report from Bloomberg that said it was more around 7%. But you know what? Either way, it doesn't really matter. Let's take a look at this. Either way, it's still low. So this report explains how 14% of Americans own crypto right now, which would amount to about 21 million adults, 21.2 million people. And Gemini, they did the research. They said that about 13% of those polled shared intentions to purchase digital assets within the next 12 months. So this is why everyone who says, you know what, crypto, it doesn't matter if you get in now. It doesn't matter if you get in at 50,000 for Bitcoin, you get in at 30,000. Yes, it's nicer to get in at 30. But when we're looking at this right now, if you think that digital currencies and crypto are going to be the way of the future, well, then it's just going to be a matter of time before we start to see that 14% or 10% where we are right now increase and get to 50%, 60%, potentially even, 100%. Like at some point in the future, I see that everyone is going to own Bitcoin or crypto in general. Is it going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum? I don't know which one, but at some point in the future, I would expect that everyone owns some crypto. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, but I think everyone's going to own at least some crypto. And if that's the case, well, right now, where we're at is right around 10% of people own crypto in the US. When that gets to 100, well, that's a lot more money that's going to be pouring in just from retail investors. So that's like 10x more money from retail investors. And then we're not even talking about institutions. Right now, a vast majority of institutions want nothing to do with crypto. They want nothing to do with crypto. So once we see institutions get involved, we're going to see, first of all, like right now we're at such a small market penetration for retail investors in crypto at about 10%, but for institutions, we're even lower than that. And once we start to see institutions get their money into crypto, well, then that's going to be when we really start to see the market take off. But anyways, if you guys are just joining us, let's see if we get this up to 300 likes. It would really help me out a lot. I'd really appreciate that. Christopher, I got you. Spoofist banks are getting in now. Yeah, like we are seeing banks getting in now, and that's what we talked about with market manipulation earlier. What we're talking about is actually not all banks, but the key thing that we did speak about earlier with market manipulation and whales is that with Goldman Sachs. Because Goldman Sachs has come out and said, look, we want nothing to do with Bitcoin. It's not an investable asset class. They said, look, cryptocurrencies are not viable investments for our clients' diversified portfolios. Right there. Yet at the same time, in May, Goldman Sachs led a $15 million investment around blockchain analytics company Coinmetrics. So, you know what I mean? It's like banks are saying that they want nothing to do right now with crypto, but we're starting to see them get in. But for actually trading crypto and putting money into crypto, for example, Goldman Sachs was really the first major US bank to begin trading cryptocurrency. This happened within the last week. They had a partnership with Galaxy Digital, Mike Novogratz, that's his company. And you can see that right now, Goldman Sachs is the first major US bank to begin trading cryptocurrency. Goldman is essentially giving other banks cover to begin doing so as well. And this is according to Vanderwelt, which is a former Goldman partner. He joined Galaxy Digital last year, and he said, look, what typically happens in the banking industry is what we see is there's a whole dynamic with major banks that we go back to the phrase of safety in numbers. He said once one bank is out there doing this, investing in crypto, trading crypto, the other banks will have fear of missing out. They're going to get on board because clients have been asking for it, and they don't want to get behind other banks. Because because they'll lose customers. In addition to this, he's saying right now what you're seeing is that there's moving, like market participants right now is about 90% retail. 90% of retail investors make up the crypto market. And it's a very small portion of institutions. But he said what we're going to see is a huge chunk of institutional investors are going to start to get in over time, and that's going to push the prices up even higher. Right now, retail investors are extremely leveraged, and that's why we did see the market drop pretty significantly. But that is why we're going to see banks start to get in. Goldman Sachs really has opened the door. They pushed the door open, just left it cracked open. Now all the other banks are going to come through and say, look, we're going to hear all of them come out and say, we're trading crypto, and they're not going to want to get behind Goldman Sachs. So yeah, anyone who's just joining us, the whole thing with market manipulation, what's going on, is going to be with banks who are all saying, you know what, maybe we don't want anything to do with crypto, but at the same time, we're hearing them say that they do invest, or they are just starting to get traded, or whatever it is. It's like at one point, I just found it very interesting to see that we saw Cathie Wood and ARK invest buy $20 million of Bitcoin yesterday. We saw MicroStrategy bought $500 million worth of Bitcoin yesterday when the market crashed. And we saw Jim Cramer come out and say, look, I'm selling all of my Bitcoin, I'm getting out. So it's like all this, we're seeing all these people who are have their own agendas saying either I'm getting out of crypto, I'm buying it. But it's like, Goldman Sachs, some of the major institutions are saying it's no good, stay away from it. Yet at the same time, we're seeing all these other major players buy it. So I just found that interesting. Like Goldman Sachs is saying it's not investable, but then Cathie Wood and ARK invest buy 1 million shares. Then we see MicroStrategy buy 500 million. And even though Jim Cramer said he sold almost all of his Bitcoin because of fear in the market, and fear of what's going on in China, I don't know if I 100% believe. I still, like he said, sold almost all of Vol, and he's not going to buy back in. But I find that hard to believe, because everyone knows that digital currency is going to be the wave of the future, whether it's going to be a central bank digital currency or it's going to be a crypto. Everyone knows there's going to be something like that. Who's going to be the 200th like? Boom. Boom. If you guys are just joining us, let's see if we can crank this up to 300 likes. If we can, I will stay an extra, let's say 15, 20 minutes on the stream. I really appreciate all of that. Mr. Nice Guy, what did you say? Do your research and find cryptos you believe in. Buy as low as you can, I say. I mean, yeah, the problem is you don't know how to time the market, so it's like just buy consistently over time, because it's like, you know what, tomorrow Bitcoin's price could drop to 20,000, the next day it could be at 60,000. We don't know. So the best thing in my opinion is just to add consistently over time. It's like if you get a paycheck, put like a certain amount of your paycheck just to say automatically go into this and this and this every month. Like, let's say you have, I don't know, whatever you have, let's say you had $100 to invest, or $1,000 or $100,000, whatever it is. You say like every month I want to put in 10% of what I have to invest into Bitcoin, 10% into Ethereum, or 10% into Amazon stock, whatever it is. That's the best way, in my opinion, to go about it. Octaviano, what is up, my man? Didn't see you earlier. So anyways, that's what's really going on with crypto. We didn't get to 300 likes, but you know what? I'll probably come back on in like an hour or 2 hours. We'll do a live stream just for the stock market. So set your time. Oh, wait. Embrace life. I see your comment. You're saying about Polygon. We did a portion of this video talking about Polygon. I'm very excited about Polygon. I'm going to put timestamps down below, but I'm going to head off for right now. We didn't get it to 300 likes. If we get it by the time, if I'm still rambling and we get it to 300, well, I'll stay on. But right now, Polygon, I did a portion on it. I'll put timestamps down below. Very bullish on it. And if you guys are new here, just please be sure to always subscribe, like the video. It helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. Everyone always asks, like, why do your videos, your live streams not get so many likes, not get so many people watching? I don't know. I did a video on Elon Musk and Dogecoin, and then YouTube just deleted my account. And then since then, it's like the views have been all wonky all over the place. So I have no clue. People say, Michael, why did your live stream? You should have like 3,000 people watching. I should have 3,000 people watching. Like, I'm just joking, but it's like the numbers don't always make sense. But I don't get it either, guys. I don't get it either. It's like YouTube deleted my account, and since then the views are all over the place. Unreal Cloud. I'm just rambling for a bit. So we get up to 300 likes, I'll stay. VeChain, Doge to the moon. Thanks for the video. Yeah, but we will be going live for sure at 3 p.m. Eastern time for the market close. So that's gonna be in 2 hours. Let me know in the comments. Do you want that to be more about crypto, or you want that more to be about the stock market, or you just want me to talk about both? You want me to just talk about both? We're getting the likes up there, guys. It's at 241. If you get it to 300, I'm still rambling. I'm still just talking about whatever. So if you get into 300, I'll stay. I'll stay if we get into 300. I promised. I'll do it. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Oh, Juan, yeah. YouTube deleting my channel doesn't bother me at all. It's like, it was annoying, but now it just made me want to do more videos, put out more content for you guys. Both. Juan, you guys want to check out? We can check out. The problem is right now the title of the video has to do with crypto, market manipulation, SEC. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, they're working with the hedge funds. Crypto, please. Love you too. I really do. Wappa Choppa. You guys were at 253. If you get it, if going to be hard to get to 300. Well, no, the thing is, James, it's not hard to get to 300 because most people watching haven't liked it. People come in and they leave, and they stay here and they leave. So it's actually pretty easy because most people out of that 274 haven't actually liked it. Let's get another hedge to close by Friday. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Do you have other platforms? Nelly, what do you mean by other platforms? Hawaii, good morning. Good morning. What is that, like 5 hours behind? I think it's 5 hours behind. 4 hours behind. Okay. I'll stay for a little bit. The problem is the title has to do with crypto. Guys, what we'll do is I'm going to come back at 3 p.m. with a live. I'm going to come back with 3 p.m. and a live. I'm going to title it AMC. So make sure to set a reminder for 3 p.m. I'm going to put the title AMC. It's going to be like market close AMC. Just make sure to join me. We'll talk about that. And we'll do that. So yeah, I'll see you guys at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I think we're gonna head out. I'm gonna walk Sir Tugboat, my dog, and I'll see you guys at 3 p.m. We'll post another video in between that as well. So see you guys there in a bit. But I hope you guys are having a great day. Crypto is up, and I will see you in